I actually
Yeah,
got a video with you in the background. You remember? Yeah, that one. Yeah. So that would be perfect because that's you. Like that would be
you
perfect.
might you might need to send it to me, but I'm scared.
Nah, I need to rehear it. I'll send it to you.
Oh my gosh. The person I was back then is not who I am now either. I'm so ashamed of that girl sometimes. But I don't know. I feel like we had fun.
No, for sure,
We,
for
we
sure.
was cool and we had fun with basketball. That's all I know. Hey y'all. First episode of the I Might Get Canceled podcast. And we have Myles Thomas with us. So
Yes.
yay. I know y'all are excited, but basically a little backstory about us. We both graduated from Tuskegee. We were in the same class, but I also used to kind of, work for basketball from time to time. So we developed our own little relationship in bond. So anyway, Myles, go ahead and introduce yourself to the people.
Yeah. Well, I'm just Myles Thomas, from Bainbridge, Georgia, and attended Tuskegee University with Miss Deja here. We was there all 4 years together, and yeah, we've been friends ever since. So
We've been locked in. Been locked in.
yeah.
Okay, so talk to me. We know what you were doing when we were at Tuskegee. Everybody know MT 23. But like, what have you been doing since leaving Tuskegee? What is life like for you now?
Well, the way it ended was kind of just bad because COVID and it kind of just messed up our senior year, kind of. And
Yeah.
I wanted to play basketball and everything, but that year kind of just set me back because a lot of countries, borders and stuff closed down, and I just took that whole year to kind of find myself just in case basketball wasn't going to happen. And I've been doing things like certifications within personal training and performance enhancement, things like that, just to keep myself educated because that's my interest, and that's something that I plan to do long term once I stop playing. So that's what
Okay.
I've been doing since. As you can see, I have MT Grind Time on my shirt here, and
Yeah.
just working on my brand a little bit. So yeah, that's what I've been
Okay.
doing since.
You have a page for this brand, a page that we could
Yeah,
follow you on.
my IG is MT Grind Time.
I know that's right. So do you do personal training with that then?
Yes, personal training. I try to do like when I'm back and forth in the states, I try to do stuff with like little kids, um, just personal basketball training, and I try to get in with LA Fitness or like a YMCA or something to collaborate and do personal training that way with different individuals, different populations. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty much what I've been doing.
Okay, that's cool then. Well, what was your major at Tuskegee? Because I feel like it kind of aligns with what you're doing right now.
Right. I started off in occupational therapy for the first 2 years, and then I just knew that that wasn't for me. I
Hmm.
was more interested in physical therapy, and Tuskegee didn't have it. So I kind of just set myself up into nursing and allied health, which is also known as health sciences.
Yeah.
And then from there, I kind of just got the prereqs ready for whenever I enter back to school. So.
That kind of brings me to something else that's been on my mind a little bit. You said Tuskegee didn't have like the major that you really wanted to do. So what
Right.
was your experience like just having to kind of take a different route from what your heart really did desire?
Um, I would say with it being Tuskegee and me wanting to change routes, I did find good people. And as you've seen, somebody like Jalen Heath, that's somebody that I met through OT, and me and him are like brothers. So we've been locked in ever since. And yeah, even though it was the wrong major for me, I kind of just made a lot of connections through that. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Shout out Jalen. Shout out Jalen.
shout out Jay Heath. Shout out Jay Heath.
Okay, so before we get into like adult stuff, I have one more like question about your college experience. I want to know what it was like for you being a student athlete and a student at the same time, and on top of that, you ended up pledging. So how was that juggling all three of those?
Um, Starting out, I would say it was pretty tough. Like just the basketball part freshman year. I
Yeah.
was already used to waking up 5 in the morning and things like that. But high school was high school. So once I got to college, I kind of got introduced to, being on my own and kind of making sure that I get up and go to classes and things like that. But that was a bit of a challenge for me my freshman year. And the kind of season we had my freshman year wasn't that good as well. So that was like my first time having a losing season,
Yeah.
but it kind of just helped me work harder in school basketball and balancing a lot of the workout times and things like that and the schedules. It just helped me in the long run, so I'm appreciative of that. um and then I would say around sophomore year going into junior year is kind of like why I had a transition from, well, I took it even more seriously. I probably gained about a good 15-20 pounds over that summer. And yeah, when I changed majors and everything, I was pretty much focused on what I was going to be doing after school, what I planned to. And that was overseas slash, the personal training thing and kind of just having something outside of that. So, yeah,
Yeah.
overall, I enjoyed it. And all the challenges and things that I encountered at Tuskegee kind of made me who I am today. So it's like I face every challenge like it's nothing because if I can make
Right.
it through Tuskegee, I can make it anywhere. So,
You can make it through anything if you can get through ski.
right.
So I love that. Okay. So then like you were overseas.
hmm
What year are you going into now of playing ball overseas?
I'm working into going into my fourth year now. Uh, I've been in 6 different countries in the past 3 years. I
Oh,
played
tell us
in.
about that. Tell us about that. Cause look, these people they don't know what it's like playing ball overseas. Half of them never did that in their life. So we need you to break it down real quick.
As far as my experiences, I played in Kosovo, Malta, Ecuador, Romania. I was in Luxembourg for a little bit, and then I just finished in Australia. And people don't know, but it's a challenge just culture wise and adjusting to a lot of different cultures and
Yeah.
systems. The way people play basketball is different, but that made me who I am right now because I'm versatile. I can play in different systems. You need me to score, you need me to be a role player. I kind of just adjust to different things. So that's what playing the past 3 years has brought out of me. And it's not many people who can say they played in different markets like that. So,
Right.
yeah. So
Okay. Do you feel like the players are looked out for and looked after like by the team management, teammates?
honestly, it depends on where you go.
Yeah.
Um, it's kind of like a lot of expectations on the Americans because America's top dog when it comes to basketball. When you go to these countries, they kind of think like you're supposed to carry the team and stuff like that. And sometimes you can't really just do it by yourself. You got to actually have a team. Um,
Right.
and then sometimes you encounter teammates from that certain country that may not be um, open to being like cool teammates and stuff like that. They kind of like jealous of Americans. I would say,
Yeah.
starting out in Kosovo, it was like that for me. But
Hmm.
luckily, I went to Malta, and that's kind of where the coach there just let me play like myself and good
Yeah.
teammates. They already knew what I was there for, so everything worked out, and I won a championship there, so it worked out pretty well. And
Okay, that's good.
I stay in contact with some of those teammates and definitely the coach. And also with that, staying in Malta, I had family members from co-teammates or whatever. Like their parents would invite me over for like dinners and stuff like that. So I felt welcome there, and I haven't gotten that in other countries other than Australia. So Australia and Malta.
Okay. So you built like real relationships with
Right.
this teammate and his family.
Right. Right.
Did it feel kind of like your home away from home or, you know?
Homeboy away from home, and they made me feel welcome. It's just like that's my family outside of the states. It's like if I wanted to go visit Malta now, I could call them and probably stay over or whatever, and they would cook me a dinner and just welcome me back. So that's how that's how close we are.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, I love it. So how many more years do you think you want to do overseas, and how has playing overseas has it kind of messed with your mental a little bit? Let me know because I've heard things before about from different people, so I want to know.
Yeah, it's pretty challenging. Like I say, I'm working on going into my fourth year now, and
Hmm.
it's just a respect thing because some cultures, some countries, they don't respect other countries. So it's like my agent is based in Europe, so most of my jobs are pretty much going to come out of there. But since when I left from there and I played in Australia or Ecuador, it's like they don't really respect it just because it's another country. Because outside of the United States, Europe thinks they're top dog, which I mean, a lot of players do come out of Europe, but talent is everywhere nowadays. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, it didn't matter. But I plan to play for maybe a few more years, about 2 to 3.
Yeah.
That's why I'm working on things now outside of it to kind of make that transition easier.
Hmm.
It's not gonna be an easy one because this is just something that I've done since I was a little boy, and it's like putting the ball down is just gonna be hard for me. So
Yeah.
yeah, but I'm working on ways to make a smooth transition in the next few years. So
Okay, I like that. Well, then at this point, we want to know like who is Miles outside of basketball, outside of being a ball player, outside of obviously your letters. Who are you as a person? And I see you laughing, but we want to
yeah,
know.
um, I'm really laid back.
Oh, we
Really
know.
laid back, chill. But it's like once you get to know me and stuff like that, you'll see like a little personality come out here and there. Um,
Hmm.
I love to travel. I love to eat different foods, try different things, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm just real chill out the way.
Where's your favorite place to travel since you love to travel? How many stamps you got in your passport? Let's hear that.
Uh, I don't know that for sure, but um, I love the beach. So anywhere there's a beach, that's kind of where I like to be at. It's kind of like peaceful. I'm always gonna find a way to work out. So
Yeah.
that's pretty much that's for life. That's something that I'm always gonna do. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Anywhere there's a beach.
Okay, I feel that because I agree. But as I'm getting older, I'm kind of wanting to try different types of vacations. I want to go to Colorado. I want to go to Tennessee, like be in the snow. But that's just me though. Some
Right,
people
right.
feel like vacation means being warm, but for me, vacation is a change of scenery. So, you know, how old were you when you first picked up a ball?
Um, I would say about 3 or 4 years old, just because I had two older brothers. They're 3 to 4 years older, so it's kind of like I picked it up from them, or
Yeah.
my dad would say he the one that put the ball in my hands. But yeah, I would say about 3 years old.
Okay. Well, who did you look up to growing up?
Uh, I would say my oldest brother. He
Hmm.
kind of just I seen him elevate his game, and we used to work out during the summers and everything like that. So I kind of just always admired that, and that's just what made me more serious about my training because I seen him go from an unorthodox, tall, lanky guy to an athletic guy who's jumping, dunking, and doing everything that nobody else could. So it's like he stood out in what he did, and that was track, basketball, and he was very intellectual, very smart. So I always looked up to that.
So he had all of them. He was like a triple threat.
Yeah.
So obviously on this show, we keep it all the way 100. What is a situation in life where you feel like you were playing it too safe? And how did you overcome that? And when I say playing it safe, I mean like not stepping into your full potential because we all tend to do that at times. So, yeah, tell us about the moment you stepped into your full potential and stopped, running from it.
Um, kind of like after I left Romania,
Mhm.
I kind of had a wake up call as far as like I felt like I was leaving stuff on the table.
Yeah,
Um, and I took that summer to kind of get my mental right. Um, and that whole summer I was working out crazy. It was like I was traveling. I went to DC, Miami, Houston, all
yeah,
that within a month and a half, and I kind of was touring and having fun a little bit, but my training was insane. Like I went out one night and didn't get back until like 6 o'clock in the morning. I never went to sleep. I went straight to the beach. This was in Miami. I went straight to the beach and worked out at South Beach because I don't know. I just had that itch. I had to.
yeah.
So yeah, I
Have
would
you
say
thought
after.
about that?
Yeah,
Yeah, because that was you on vacation working out.
right, right. Like I
What?
told you, I'm always gonna find a way to work out. So
Yeah, well, what happens if you miss a workout? Like, what do you do to
if
yourself?
I miss a workout, I'm not gonna be okay.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be mentally frustrated. Um, Cause even with my brothers and my dad, they'll call me and try to have me do something. They kind of like, I don't want to do it right now. I'm planning to work out. So,
yeah,
um, yeah, if it's something important, yeah, I'll do it. But I'm gonna be mad if I didn't get to the gym because I want to do it then. So it's like if I don't do it then, it's not gonna be the same. I won't be as sharp if I don't go right when
yeah.
I want to go. So
Right. What advice do you have for newbies in the gym? People who aren't used to being in the gym, but they trying to make that lifestyle change. What advice can you get them?
I would say just start off with the basics.
Hmm.
Depending on how they feel about themselves, if they're okay with being out in the open with other people who do know what they're doing, it's
Yeah.
like you can find your way within that. But if you don't feel comfortable, I would say there are plenty areas within the gym where you could be to yourself kind of, and you could
Right.
just practice some basic movements and things like that and kind of work your way up. Now that TikTok is back, it's all over TikTok. You can find things.
You can find a workout on
Instagram,
there.
yeah, you can find stuff. So it's everywhere.
I don't know what we would do without TikTok, by the way.
Right.
Everybody was on this crying. Everybody was crying. I was like, we really did the most
They
just now.
for one day. For one day. Everybody did that for one day. That's
They ain't
crazy.
even do it for a whole day. I feel scammed and I feel bamboozled.
It was
But
horrible.
okay, what's a core memory that you've made while being overseas? Something that really stands out to you, makes you feel good.
Uh, I would probably say out in Malta. Just I don't know. I felt like Ecuador too. I felt like I impacted a lot of people, and I remember you asking earlier. Who am I outside of basketball? And that's really a thing I'm big on. Everywhere I go, I want to be able to impact somebody. So,
Yeah,
core memories, I just always feel good when I leave certain countries. Really, every country I've been to, I've had a following of young kids who are interested in playing basketball in the future at the pro level and things like that. They
yeah,
follow me, they'll comment, they kind of interact with me, and it's kind of just it's like I haven't even said nothing to them, but obviously I'm doing something good, so that always makes me feel good. So
yeah.
yeah,
Is their basketball like as big to them overseas as it is to us here? Like, do they rock your jerseys and stuff and ask you to sign them? And
yes, they do. I actually think it's more. Uh, they take that to heart more than they do in America. I
wow.
say the talent here, in my opinion, yes, it's way better, but
Mm.
people care for their cities because like that's all they have sometimes, especially if you're in a third world country or something like that. They go deep into the sport, and I would say in Kosovo, my first year, I had kids that I seen. They drew on a cemented wall or whatever. They drew a basketball goal because they didn't have one, and they was playing on that and pretending like the ball was going in the hoop and everything. So
Hey.
yeah, so I always take into consideration of how other people live and stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I, that kind of touched me a little bit. I feel like one day you might need to just pop up with a goal. Be like, here y'all go.
yeah, yeah,
Like on some, I care about the community, but it hits, but it don't hit like as if it were back home, you
right.
know, somewhere in Georgia. But I totally get it. So what do you think the transition would be like for any player that's overseas wanting to come to America and play? I feel like it's different than what it was many years ago.
You meaning like if a player from overseas just wants to come to America to play? Like,
Yeah,
well, the way it's set up, I don't even think that'll actually happen. It'll just be like NBA or nothing. So
yeah,
if you're not good enough to make the NBA from your country to the United States, it's just like it's nothing. But say if that did happen and there was like a smaller league that overseas, uh,
yeah.
imports or whatever can come and play, I feel like they would have a culture shock too because the style, um, America is very individualized when it comes to playing, and that's something that worked out for me because I'm such a team player. Um,
Hmm.
I'm kind of very unselfish, and I've actually had a few coaches, tell me that because I would pass up certain shots and stuff like that. But
Really?
yeah, yeah, that was part of the wake up call too. Just I gotta get my own. So
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely
Wow. When since you just shared that with me, I feel like that's something worth applauding yourself for. Coming
right,
out of like one personality trait of yours into another, or I don't know, just a sense of like shedding something to be born again. I think you did really well with that because I feel like personally the player you were at Tuskegee is not the player you are now.
right,
That's just me. That's just I'm nobody. But yeah, that's how I feel. But you would probably agree. I don't know.
yeah, no, for sure.
Thank you for joining us on the show today, Miles. We're gonna keep in touch. Y'all make sure y'all follow him, and that's at MT Grind Time.